Welcome to the Influence Factory podcast. This program is dedicated to support professionals who have a desire to develop their digital business influence so they can navigate through a fast-paced, constantly growing digital world. We invite newcomers as well as our family of business influencers to a place to play, share ideas, questions, tips, and guidance with other thought leaders around the globe. Sit back and enjoy our program with our host Dean DeLisle as he interviews guests. News and commentary is provided by Cait Hassett and Jackson DeLisle. Power Move lessons are provided by the Influencer Marketing Department at Social Jack. And production, editing, and distribution is provided by the Social Jack production team.
All right. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Influence Factory. We have a great show for you today. We have a special guest that'll be coming on shortly, Wayne Messmer, who's in Arizona at the Cubs spring training. And many of you know he's the voice of singing the national anthem for the Cubs, the Hawks, many other teams, and all kinds of events throughout the world. And we have a lot of great questions to ask him, so make sure you tee up those questions. And for those of you that want to join us on social, Cait, what's the best way for people to join us on social?
Yeah, so we're live tweeting this. Make sure you check it out on Twitter at GetSocialJack and the hashtag Influence Factory. And then Emily also engaging with all your questions in the Facebook group, Business Influencer Alliance. You can join that and watch it live. And then, of course, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Snapchat at Social Jack. So check us out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Cait. And then Jackson, if people want to get previous episodes, I think are we in the 50s now of episodes?
Yeah, this week is episode 54. So if you want to watch any of the ones that came before this, you can listen on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spreaker, SoundCloud, and Spotify, and also Google Podcasts. Oh, and we're on CastBox now. So
and YouTube.
And YouTube, if you want to watch the recording, see our faces. So
All right. And in influencer news today, we have a special article, Why You Shouldn't Put All Your Focus on Only One Social Media Network.
Yeah, so why you shouldn't put all your focus on one social media network. It's a great article. Actually, Cait found it, sent it to me from Social Media Today. And I think this is a really cool article to talk about this week, considering last week Facebook and Instagram were both down. And, in today's world, brands and influencers rely on those channels for a source of income. So when those channels are down, it causes and it sparks a panic amongst the influencers and the brands, because how are they going to talk to their audiences? So that's why it's real important to, not just focus on one or two owned by the same company. So with Instagram and Facebook, who, Instagram's owned by Facebook, when Facebook's down, Instagram's going to be down, because odds are they're doing updates or their servers are having issues. Well, they all share those assets. So, that's one of the biggest reasons is a lot of these influencers and brands, they fled to Twitter to talk to their audiences. A lot of the ones that, are active on Twitter as well as they are on Instagram and Facebook. So,
we did that during our show during that period of time, because that's when the platform went down, is when we went to go test the live stream. So,
yeah. So what we did was we ran over all of us individually, and then from the Social Jack account, we were tweeting out, "Hey, make sure to live tweet to us." But we can't do the Facebook Live this week because Facebook's down. So.
And so we had them join us on Zoom. So that was our backup plan. So.
Yeah. So, with Facebook being down for 10 plus hours, left a lot of brands and influencers out who aren't on Twitter and other platforms, really just out there, left them out to kind of like a fish out of water almost. So, that's a big thing. And also, it's totally normal to have a social media platform or account that performs better than your other ones. So let's say Like for me, I get more engagement and response on Twitter than I do on any of the other ones, and that's because I'm more active on Twitter, and that was always been my favorite platform. So I put a lot of focus into that one because I see a lot of engagement. That doesn't mean I don't look at LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. I look at them, and I post content on there as well, but I don't expect as much of a return on my engagement. So, that being said, I think it's also perfectly acceptable to say, all right, so Instagram isn't what we're seeing the most return from. Let's, cut back on our Instagram and focus on the channels that we are going to see the most engagement and comments, likes, shares. Let's focus on those platforms. I think it's completely acceptable, but I also think that you shouldn't forget about those other platforms, because it is nice, like last week, to have that backup plan in case one of them goes down. So
yeah,
absolutely. And I just want to add to it. I think it's a really good reminder for us that this happened last week for a couple different things. So if you're listening to this and you're like, I'm not an influencer, right? Because my dad was like, why does everybody care that Facebook was down? Like, aren't you guys at work? Don't you have jobs? And I just laughed because, of course, this is my job. And so I was laughing that it did throw a wrench in all of our plans, but it kind of teaches us some other things. For one, you should have a backup plan, right? We have obviously stream in Facebook, and we use Facebook a lot. We have other ways to communicate to our audience, and then we also use Zoom. So it didn't just put a hiatus in our whole Influence Factory show last week. We were able to still make the show go on. We went through Zoom and we did other ways. So it's kind of to have a backup plan. And then I also had a client tell me that he uses Facebook video chat a lot to talk to people that he has meetings. And so he had to go and download Zoom and change all of his plans into Zoom meetings. So it's kind of like a reminder, even if you're not an influencer and you didn't lose 10 hours last week because Instagram was down, it's just kind of a reminder of, one, to have a backup plan, two, to have preferential communication, make sure that you're having other ways to communicate with businesses or clients or people that you want to do business with. Just because Facebook's down, there's other ways to get a hold of them. And then three, it's an update it's a reminder to update those social media profiles. So if Facebook was down and somebody went to Twitter to find you, what are they going to find on your Twitter? You know what I mean? So make sure that you're keeping all of those things updated. And those are some reminders if you're like, well, I'm not an influencer, that this really affected. It was kind of interesting to see all the tweets and how it was trending last week that Facebook's down and all the memes that came out of it. But, it did throw a wrench in a lot of people's communication plans and influencers and stuff. So it's really, really important to make sure that you have a presence on all platforms so people can reach you, your audience can reach you, and clients. If you were only posting content on Facebook and you guys were closed and Facebook was down, you had clients show up because they didn't see anything on any other social media platform, that's going to hurt the integrity of the company. So just keep that in mind. We definitely want to understand that there's no single path to success. Everybody finds value out of different social media platforms, but the key is to have a presence everywhere. So just keep that in mind from this.
There's a class that we have in the Social Jack platform called Lean Social, Lean, Lean Social. And it teaches you, because the first thing that comes up when, when Cait says you should be on all platforms or be on multiple platforms, is people get overwhelmed. So if you listen to that, it's probably 2 years old, but it applies today, about having your, as Jackson was stating, your preferential channels of where you post to. But think about it's not all about you, it's about your audience, and your audience can live on other channels. So one of the most important things is to make sure that you find out what's important to your audience. And remember the magic of hashtags, which are only supported on some channels more now than it used to be. That's how new people find you, is a lot of times through those hashtagging communities. So you want to make sure but if you listen to that episode, that'll tell you how to not be overwhelmed and how to balance multiple channels.
Yeah, real quick, just before we move on, I wanted to also mention that having an email list as well. I know a lot of you have an email list because I'm on some of them, but also because, it's a great way to, let's say you don't have a giant following on Instagram, and Instagram is not where your audience hangs out, but, Twitter's down, or Facebook and Instagram. What if they all go down?
LinkedIn, how often does LinkedIn play?
Yeah. Picture a world where they are all down. You need that way to get, through to them. You need to be able to communicate with them. So building that email list is going to be essential in at least a backup plan if you're not pumping out like a weekly or monthly newsletter. So, that's a big thing. And the way you can I wanted to add, you can check to see which platforms, which websites are down at downdetector.com. So I'll put that in the show notes after this, but downdetector.com is you can see Amazon if your purchases aren't going through. Like that. You can all of them. Spotify if your music's not loading and you have Wi-Fi.
E-checks are not coming in, whatever it is for you. Downdetector.com does track all platforms. And Julie says, what if we lose electricity? And, and what if Al Gore accidentally unplugs the internet? Then we're all in trouble. So there's all kinds of factors that play in here, but we still have pigeons that can carry the message.
There's no way to prepare for everything, but
yeah. Well, that's all for the influencer news update this week. Make sure to tweet to us and stay engaged throughout the week, and let us know what kind of things you're looking to hear, and we'll make sure to discuss topics relevant to those issues. So make sure to do that. And then also don't forget you can subscribe on any of the platforms, Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spreaker, SoundCloud, Google Play, CastBox. You can and YouTube. You can download all the podcasts there, and also subscribe and get notified anytime we update or upload any of our episodes. So make sure to do that if your Wednesdays get busy and you can no longer join us live.
All right. Thank you, Jackson and Cait.
Thank you for listening to the Influence Factory podcast. We welcome feedback and suggestions. You can provide these by visiting our website at www.myinfluencefactory.com. And if you are interested in Social Jack's 90 Days to Influence program, you can simply go to 90daystobusinessinfluence.com and simply ask for the next steps. While our program airs regularly on Zoom webcasts and Facebook Live on Wednesdays at noon Central, we invite you to download episodes on your favorite channel: YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spreaker, SoundCloud, and who knows where else in the future. We will also provide occasional on-location live streams with special guests that we will announce in our community Facebook group, Business Influencer Alliance, as well as on all Social Jack channels. Our mission is to help you build your digital business influence with this podcast, as well as inspire, educate, and entertain those who are hungry to collaborate in a cool place with cool business professionals just like you.